There's been no shortage of Warhammer 40k games over the years, ranging from both ends of the spectrum between awesome and meh. And you remember the great ones: Space Marine, Battlefleet Gothic Armada, Dawn of War. But there's probably one you don't remember, and one that I think is extremely underrated. And going off its peak all-time player count of just 500, I don't think many of you ever touched it at all. And that game is Warhammer 40,000 Regicide. Yes, it's the chess game, but don't close the video yet, just hear me out. Ask yourself, can your chess game do this? I bought Regicide on release back in 2015, and I haven't really played it since then, until this week. We are working on my extremely long video on Dawn of War, video coming soon, led me back here. So here's the premise: you take chess, you add the tactical combat layer of XCOM, and then you mix it up with the sync kills from Dawn of War, and boom, Regicide, a turn-based strategy chess-like. On one side you've got the Space Marines, on the other side you've got the Orcs. You make moves, slaughter your opposition, and checkmate the enemy king to win. I mean, it's chess, what do you expect? But that's actually not all it is. Regicide brings new mechanics to the table that make it unique. And that, combined with some beautifully realised models, animations and sound effects, make for a pretty slick looking and tactically enjoyable showcase. At its core, there's two ways to play Regicide: Classic, which is chess, and Regicide, which is spicy chess. The former is simple, as it's literally just chess rules with Warhammer models. And to be honest, that might be enough for some people. The latter though is more in depth. The same base rules of chess apply in regards to movement and taking units, but there's an added initiative phase after making your move, where you can take certain actions against enemies or friendlies that affect their health total. If a unit's health gets to 0, they die. The actions you can take vary quite a lot. There are base attacks, which can be done by anyone. You can make a unit take cover and up their defenses, etc, etc. But then there's also special abilities, like throwing grenades, granting shields, and engaging in close range melee strikes after making a move. Some of these are tied to unit classes, and others are chosen before the game, and you can have 4 of those equipped at any one time. There's some unlocked from the beginning, and others you get by spending requisition points that are earned as you play and win matches. The game features a campaign, skirmish mode, and multiplayer, but forget about the latter, as the player count in the last 24 hours was literally 1, and I'm pretty sure that was me. You should only be playing multiplayer if you've got someone to play with. Thankfully, there's enough single player content here to keep you going for a while. The campaign story sucks, just forget about it, but the unique scenarios you get in the missions are interesting challenges. There's a ton of map and unit variety, and it's genuinely a good way to spend your time in Regicide. Otherwise there's Skirmish, which lets you change modes, factions, maps, and everything else. The AI is more than a challenge, and unless you're a chess master, it'll put up a significant fight at high difficulties. So that's the gameplay, but Regicide's striking visuals are arguably more impactful on the experience than anything else. Despite the lack of faction variety, what's here with the Space Marines and Orcs are super detailed and look so sick. And the unique animations for each unit I could watch all day, especially the Librarians, man, so badass. Taking units is super satisfying, and with the inherent satisfaction of making big plays in a chess game, makes Regicide quite a good time if you're on board with the formula. I do have a few criticisms, however. I wish there were more factions. Having only the Space Marines and the Orcs gets a bit stale after a while. Factions have alternate skins with different stats for each of them, but they don't come unlocked by default. I'm also going to call out the percentage system when attacking units, which seems to be skewed somewhat. I'm not going to run any tests or anything, but let's just say every shot seems around 20% less likely to hit than what's showed on screen. And lastly, I wish there was a bit more gore in terms of dismemberment, but hey, that's a small complaint. I could literally watch these all day. Look, Regicide's a fun game, and I recommend you give it a try if you're interested. It's $10 on Steam, and you can even get it on Android and iOS for a fraction of that price if you prefer. It's not incredibly deep, and you should really only buy it for the single player. But graphically it looks awesome, it's satisfying to play, and it really is just a badass showcase of some pretty highly detailed 40k models duking it out with each other. It may not be the biggest, baddest, most perfectly crafted Warhammer 40,000 game ever made, but it sticks to its niche and it executes on it well. Go and check it out. If you like chess or turn-based strategy games in general, I think you'll be in for a good time. Thanks very much for watching. Follow me on Twitter for updates, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and hold tight for the Dawn of War review. I'm working on it, it's nearly an hour long, so it's taking quite a while, but it's out soon. I'm really excited to get it done, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks again for watching, see you next time.